Hello everybody, welcome back, good morning. Let's have a look at some of these charts. A bit of an overview for altcoins as I believe it to be alt saison. We're looking at XRP right now because I've just been fannying around this morning just looking at stuff. Just wanted to point something out to you. It's not really an XRP thing, it's an Ethereum thing. So Ethereum is in this giant symmetrical triangle at the moment that's been in since the previous high. It's more relevant on regular scale, but there's not much between it because it's not very volatile these days. But normally, the closer you get to the end of an apex of a symmetrical, descending, or rising triangle, whatever you want to call them, the less likely you are going to have immediate continuation. Now, we're in the center of a triangle here, about 55% of the way through. So if we do get a breakout, it should have immediate continuation. 4,000, then close to 5,000, that's the previous all-time high, and a little higher than that. And for those who like to do this sort of thing, you can always measure the mouth and give yourself a projected target. And if you were to break out sooner rather than later, we're targeting around $7,000 for a single Ethereum. It doesn't have to happen, I'm just showing you something. Normally, like I say, if you break out at this this portion of a formation like this, you will get immediate continuation. The closer you get to the end of the apex, the more likely it is that you get a breakout, then a fake out, and a retest and a continuation. But because I believe relatively strongly that there's going to be a peak around September, whether that is the peak, I couldn't tell you, but a peak around September, I think targeting the previous all-time high and perhaps maybe another 50% beyond that, giving you that $7,000 figure. I think that's reasonable. It's not always the case though. Some charts do like to go towards the end of the apex and break out. We don't really have that kind of history for Ethereum. Ethereum has these big rallies, big consolidations, big rallies, big consolidations, and this is still one massive consolidation. Surprisingly, XRP was it was just different. We recognise that with XRP, it does like to get to the end of the apex after an enormous consolidation, then perform a huge breakout, huge consolidation, huge breakout, which is why we all made a load of money this cycle because of this setup. So, no altcoin is created equal. They're certainly not. But now we're on XRP, we might as well continue with XRP. It looks very likely that we're going to close above the 250. 250 being now a support, rather than a big resistance. Money flow index is all the way down here at 62, which is why I think this one is going to make a new all-time high and beyond. I've been talking about this so many times on the Patreon. We talk about it twice a week. We do the streams twice a week. We look at XRP twice a week. And for twice a week, for what appears to be 2 months, we're saying we've got a breakout of momentum and money flow. Now we've got a breakout of price action. We should be looking for immediate continuation, really, based on a weekly immediate continuation to new all-time highs that could reach areas that, I suppose that a year ago would have seemed absolutely ridiculous. But not quite so ridiculous now, are they? Everybody likes a bit of XRP now, don't they? XRP is the future now. It was apparently, according to many of the trolls, supposed to be designed to remain at 50 cents forever, regardless of the fact that it started off at fractions of a cent, went up to dollars, went back down to, very low, 14 cents, and then back up to dollars. And if it was designed to stay at 50 cents, they didn't do a bloody good job of it, did they? Troll? Right, so that's your XRP, and with those two, with Ethereum and XRP being basically the leaders of the altcoin season, I think it should allow for the majority of alts just to follow in their footsteps, giving confidence basically to the market that things are actually okay. Now, if you want to join the Patreon, we're doing a live stream tonight. We're doing them twice a week. I urge you, between now and September, it'll be a great time to join. We've got plenty of things to look at, lots of opportunities in the market, and it's only £7.50, which is like a pint of Guinness in central London. It's nothing, you spend that just walking down the street, wouldn't you? Right, let's have a think about Bitcoin herself, see how she's doing. Well, she's still responding very nicely to the trend signal that was generated about over a month ago now that made us all believe very strongly that this is going to have continuation. And here we have it, continuation. There's nothing much more to say than that. We're getting hot, as a lot of things are on the weekly. We're looking to find our way to September, as the entire market, I believe, is. and we're sort of getting close towards the top of the Bollinger Band itself, which will continue to expand tomorrow, because obviously a new week will begin tomorrow morning. We close like this, we should probably lick the areas of like 120, 122, just wherever the top of the Bollinger Band is. We spoke about it yesterday. You know, 95% of price action takes place in a Bollinger Band. It's very rarely that you do get trending moves take place out, but when you do, they are very bullish. But just remind yourself that you've got to look at other things, because 95% of the price action taking place in the band means that you inevitably get drawn back within the band at some point. You know, outside of the band, drawn back in. 95% of it takes place in the band. But this should be the period now where things go absolutely bonkers and parabolic. So we might see opportunity just to buy each dip, and it wouldn't be dips on a weekly. The dips on the weekly has already taken place. The dips maybe on the daily, they're more likely to be on the 4 hourly, because we should be going super bullish at this point. So dips are for buying, not for crying, as they say. And the 4 hourlies are the places to really look at it. And you can see huge move, support on the 10 exponential. This is not going to be uncommon at this point now. So for those of you who are doing futures and derivatives, 4 hourlies are the charts to go for. Tight stop losses, obviously, because it's like we said yesterday. It's not going to be purely straight up. There's very likely to be 10 to 20% pullbacks. You don't want to be caught on the wrong side of that. Absolutely not. Even if it was just with a short 2 or 3x leverage, 20% down on that's horrendous. So always trade appropriately. I mean, don't just think that your entry point is the one that's going to take you to the moon. I mean, it's rarely that ever happens. Rarely. But 4 hourlies for the most part are going to be the place to go for. So there's your Bitcoin, there's your Ethereum, there's your XRP. We are Sunday, and again, Sunday most of the time has a bit of a sell-off, moving into Monday morning's open for all other markets. And so we've just got to respect the fact that that is usually the case. And so, maybe we get the dips today or tonight. But to be fair, everything on the weekly looks good. The prophecy still remains. The prophecy is unchanged. I've stuck to this exact prophecy for a couple of years now, and despite people coming and going and telling me this, that, and the other, and you're wrong. At the moment, and again, I'm only right once I've cashed out and seen the money flood my bank account. That's when I'm right. I'm not right now because we haven't reached the targets, but it would appear though that everything is moving as if I am to be correct, and there's nothing much more I can say about that. Being right is one thing, making money is another. I know I prefer to make money. It's all about making money anyway for me. I know being right is making money is being right, but no one's perfect. No one has a perfect handle on the market ever. They can give the impression that they do to lead you in to their Patreons or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But nobody does. And understanding that and recognising that will make you a better trader for it. Because you do understand. You've got to understand when to pull the plug if you are wrong. You've got to be able to make good judgment calls when you've made a mistake. But at the moment, it does appear though that I am still correct about this general vibe and the projection that I've got. Again, I'm not pointing to 2.2 trillion here. I'm just pointing to up in regards to time, similar to the fractal. We're talking about a movement up between now and September. And if we break down from there, make a higher low, maybe we do have an extended cycle. But the people who are talking about that now, which I'm sure there is plenty because there always will be, it's an extended cycle, bro. I mean, they're entitled to their opinion, but only until I see September and after will I be able to say, yes, it is an extended cycle. So for those of you who want to hold on, for another year, fair play, it's up to you. That's your call. For me, I've had this analysis in for so long now, and my expectations have remained the same for so long. And it's not because I'm being stubborn, it's because this is what I expect, based on what I see, that September we will find a peak, and I would be looking to exit positions based on overheated money flow index reads. Obviously the time between now and September seems appropriate, and then I'll exit those positions. And obviously if I don't dip, no big deal. I've still hit my targets, my personal targets. I've made money, that means I win. If it goes on beyond that, no big deal. It's just that's a psychological thing that people need to get over. You'll never sell the absolute top, you'll never buy the absolute bottom, but you'll get a nice piece of price action in between, which is what we will have done, or what I will have done. And on the next pullback after September, wherever that may come from or wherever it may land, of course, at that stage, I will be looking to buy a dip. But is that buy a dip in the expectation for continuation into new all-time highs, or is that a buy the dip in the order for a dead cat bounce? It doesn't matter. It's a dip to be bought, price action to be had. And if we do go on to make new all-time highs after September, then yeah, at that point we can all look back and go, yeah, extended cycle, price action. You know, the cycle's broken. This time is different, because it is different. Can't say it until that time. There's no way to know for sure until 4 years has elapsed and something different has happened. But at the moment the model still fits, and you know, people said it last cycle, didn't they? Oh, it's an extended cycle, but it wasn't. It was a perfect cycle. We knew for 3 years that the expectation was that we'd peak around December 2021. Lo and behold, December 2021 found a peak. So we kind of knew that, or expected that, for 3 years leading into it. We kind of always knew that was the time. And I'm saying the same thing here. I believe quite strongly that the peak will be September, and then we'll just be seeing what happens around then. You know, but look, other people have got more followers than me. With that, comes more influence, I suppose. You know, the more views and followers you get, the more, well, I suppose, I wouldn't even say it's trust, is it really? It's a perception of knowledge, whether they have it or not. But I'm telling you that nobody knows. All we have is our ideas, and no matter how big your channel or how small, it's just a person at the other end of a broadband connection at the end of the day. And anyone who trades really should tell you that, you know, you can have ideas, but nobody actually knows. You know, despite having more followers or more views, they don't know any more than me. If they have a different idea, fair play. We'll only know in hindsight. And I'm more into making the money than being right. I'm certainly more into the idea of making money than losing money. So that's all I can put out to you, really. Right, so with that, I will leave it with you there. Maybe I'll see you on the stream tonight. I've got lots of links for lots of exchanges now, for lots of little deals. And if that's the way you want to go, you might as well click on them. Other than that, I'll see you tonight, when we'll look at as many altcoins as we want. And I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.